Good morning, everybody. How are you all doing? Sammy, United People's TV. Boy, do we have a busy show lined up. I don't know how I've managed to get that already. Actually, no, I'm a couple of minutes late. We're going to be speaking about Garnacho with Chelsea and Napoli, Dorgu with Lecce and Napoli and Manchester United. We're going to be speaking about Marcus Rashford and Barcelona and the fact that he wants to stay now. Well, not that he wants to stay, but that he's happy to stay. We're also going to be speaking about other transfer deals, the latest from The Athletic, the latest from David Ornstein. Woo! As you can tell, I'm a little bit chocker this morning. I really get the feeling, I put it in the description, but I'll say it here now. I really get the feeling that the next 2 weeks are going to be absolutely slammed full of speculation. So prepare yourselves in terms of what stories you read, what journalists you believe, or I think you're going to find yourself really frustrated with the next couple of weeks. Of course, we all want deals to go over the line. Will they happen? Well, we'll find out. I'll run through all the latest news this morning for you. And if you already listened to the podcast, I've already done this once this morning. Man, morning me before 10 a.m. It's absolutely full on, man. Jeez. Anyway, morning, everyone. Little moan out the way. I'm just glad I got the show ready because I was kind of panicking. JC, good morning to you, dude, and Death Time, good morning to you as well. Both gifting 10 memberships before the show's even started. And I keep saying this. You can understand why... what? Alex, I'll speak to you after the show. I just need somebody to take some stuff off the plate. It's getting a bit wild and it's getting a bit crazy. And I'll tell you what's part of that is the fact that we're getting absolutely steamed by Southampton at home and steamed by Brighton, and just the fan base is in, just the football club is in such a... I wanted the roller coasters to stop when Ruben Amorim came in, and they've only picked up in pace. The drops have only got higher. We're going vertical. The roller coasters are getting crazier. That's what I call it. We've lost 7 games since Ruben Amorim came in. It's almost like we got a manager mid-season who plays a completely different formation. I thought it was going to work straight away. Let me see who else is here from the mods and the member gang. JC, good morning to you. Carl, you're there. Stephanie, you're there. Ant, you're there. Nice to see you, man. Josh, you'll be there lingering in the background. We've got Andrew Woodham. We've got John McNulty. Siam. We've got Liam. Darren. Good morning to all of you. Please do, as always. I felt like a little bit of a moan. But yeah, kind of was a little bit of a moan. It's... I don't know how many times I've said this on this channel, but how do you, as a United fan, keep up with everything? It's more than a full-time job. Like, there's no other word you can use apart from relentless. To try and keep on top and somewhat knowledgeable about the 79 different stories that are happening with United at any one point in time. Man. Anyway, I want to speak about a couple of stories from football around United right now. Yesterday, West Ham making an offer for John Duran, 57 million with add-ons, which I'm guessing got rejected. If you look at what the actual offer is, I think it's about 30 million pounds plus like a player that they've included. Is that a ridiculous bid from West Ham? Or is that a fair bid? I can't actually figure that one out. Because it seems like a lot. Feels like a lot? Someone help me. But West Ham making offers of that size. Nottingham Forest coming in this morning. I think they're just trying to take the piss out of Brentford with that one. 22 million for Wissa. All these other clubs are spending money. Manchester United are out here with a little broken... Please, sir, can I have some more? Anyway. Someone's down there saying it feels like a fair bid. I think so anyway. But, Jonathan, that's exactly my point down there. Who knows anyway? Who has any idea what is a fair and realistic transfer valuation these days? Seriously, I've got no clue. None. How long ago was it that Arsenal offered £40 million and £1 for Luis Suarez. Is that 2016? 15? 16? Something like that. Anyway, I've got no clue about how much a player is worth these days. Absolutely none. Anyway, don't think they're going to be signing him. Right. Let's move on and let's speak about the story that broke in the live show yesterday from David Ornstein on Patrick Dorgu. And this is not a panic link. Okay? United being interested in Patrick Dorgu was not a reaction to Man United losing 3-1 at home to Brighton. That's the first thing I want to say there. Okay, if anybody's looking at this as Man United, all of a sudden transfer news comes out the day after we've lost it, and you try and speculate that that's the only reason it's come out. That's not the case. All right, Patrick Dorgu has been on our list for a while. We spoke about him during the summer. He's only continued to develop at Lecce, and it's not a surprise to see that United are interested in him. Now, I'm going to run through all the story that developed about Dorgu yesterday and keep you up to date on that. Gaz, I can see you down there gifting 10 memberships as well. All of your legends. And I feel like I say this so many times, I feel like I don't do enough with the community directly and with all the gifted memberships, and I want to give more back to that. But that's where I need somebody to come in and help me as a community manager, because I just can't do it, people. I'd love to be able to commit more time, but I can't do it. With everything that's going on, it is just impossible, but I'm very aware of it. It's very annoying. Anyway, I'll speak to somebody. I already am. I'm in talks, but again, those things are getting delayed by everything else that is happening. Just a lot going on right now. A lot. Right, so Patrick Dorgu links have been there for a while. David Ornstein confirmed that the talks were opening yesterday. Fabrizio Romano's following up onto that. Saying Manchester United is set to open formal talks with Lecce for Patrick Dorgu. No bid has been sent. Dorgu is 100% keen on the move, and Lecce want around 40 million euros. Which, I can't even bloody do it this morning. For some reason, the polls aren't working. Never mind. I got no idea why the polls aren't working. But 40 million euros is the question I want to ask you in the comments. What's your feeling about that fee? Type it in the comments how much you think United should try and sign Patrick Dorgu for. And again, this comes down to the point I've just made there. I don't know how much players are worth anymore. I don't know what is a fair value of a 20-year-old left-back who's in his second senior season in Serie A with Lecce and is currently involved in a relegation battle. I think they're 16th. 16th in the league. Thereabouts. Royston, thank you for gifting 5 memberships, dude. Royston Crisps. Are they called Roystons? That's what they call Roystons. No, Roysters. Roysters, the beef ones. And Royster 5'9". You just got me thinking about those two things. Big up to you, dude. Right, John, you're saying 30 million, 25 says AX, 24 million says Alex. Birdie going for 30. 30 to 35 says Gaz. Seems a bit much. That's what I mean. I don't really know. It almost feels impossible to kind of guess how much a player is worth or how much a club is willing to pay for him. Right? United will be entering talks. My reaction to that is, lads, it's the 21st of January. We've needed a wing-back since Ruben Amorim has come in. Why have you waited 21 days? I personally think it's linked to the Rashford situation. I don't know what a fair value is for Patrick Dorgu. I've got absolutely no idea. If I was to guess, Lecce aren't getting anywhere near 40 million. I would guess that United will want to go probably somewhere like 25, rising to 30 with add-ons in terms of negotiations. You got James Ducker from The Telegraph just confirming and following up on the interest that David Ornstein confirmed and Fabrizio Romano confirmed. United are going to be holding formal talks, right? You've got DiMarzio here, and this is what he's saying on the situation, that Napoli wants to block Dorgu. This is the situation. And look, Napoli wants to block Dorgu. Their desire would be to buy him and leave him there on loan for the rest of the season. Now, that is a very cheeky sentence there, right? I say cheeky. That's a completely wrong word to describe it. But this idea that Napoli, if they were to come in and sign Patrick Dorgu, which is a suggestion from Gianluca DiMarzio, that they would let him stay on loan at Lecce for the rest of the season, would obviously appeal to Lecce. That's something that they'll be able to offer, Napoli would be able to offer, that Manchester United would not. But largely, I think this just feels like standard, par for the course, transfer gamesmanship. Napoli wants to sign him. But, you know, if Manchester United were to actually offer 40 million, then all the situation would change. Yeah, that's just, well, it's not speculation, but it's just Lecce trying to control a bit of power in the negotiation by using the media. The media is such a pawn for all of this. The whole thing is just a big old game. I mean, the whole thing is business, right? And in business, if you can gain advantages, big or small, you're going to try and gain them. And that's what some journalists get used for. Fabrizio Romano in particular is the kingpin of pawns when it comes to agents wanting to control how a transfer goes. He really is one of the most powerful people in football transfers. He probably is the most powerful. Well, certainly one of. Like David Ornstein is somebody, when he speaks, it's the truth. When Fabrizio Romano speaks, sometimes, quite a bit of time, it's what the agents want him to say. And John, I will completely agree with that. The influence and the growth of agent power in football is, well, it's just made football constantly worse, year on year. And I don't think that's ever going to change, if I'm being completely honest. But Patrick Dorgu is somebody who, look, I did my video on him yesterday, and on a very basic level, Patrick Dorgu is an immediate upgrade at left wing back to anybody that we've got inside this squad. Now, that's not really hard, all right? You've got Dalot, who is not a left back, who's been playing left wing back to fill a gap. Some games he's done it pretty admirably. No, a lot of games he hasn't. He's not a left wing back. He never will be a left wing back. He is there to plug a gap. Then you've got Luke Shaw. No point speaking about him. Then you've got Tyrell Malacia. If he was the option for Amorim, he would have played a lot more. He's given him his opportunities. Nah, not quite there. Harry Amas, he's not been given a chance because Amorim and his staff clearly do not think that he is ready for that chance. Goldbill Kakonki has been involved in 4, maybe 5 matchday squads now, but not quite ready for his debut. Or maybe Amorim kind of feels partly like I do. Don't expose young players like that to their debuts in awful situations because of the damage it could do to the first impression. Because if Goldbill Kakonki came on and made his debut and made some mistakes, there will be so many United fans saying, nah, shouldn't be playing for us again. Nah, can't play us. He's got to go out on loan. Nah, not ready. No. They'll call for him to come in and then kick him out as soon as he makes a mistake. Because that is the way that fans work. Now, Dorgu, and I'm going to definitely give this as a warning, because it's going to keep happening with the signings that we make. We are not in a position to make ready-made first-team signings. All right? They're going to be raw. A lot of them are going to be rough around the edges. They're going to be unpolished potential, rough diamonds. And I think they are the signings that we need to make. However, they're going to be more rough around the edges. Patrick Dorgu is somebody who a lot of his strengths match up directly with United's weaknesses. In terms of the athletic profile, his ability in and out of possession, he's very comfortable going forward. He's very comfortable in the final third. He's comfortable playing on the left. He's comfortable playing on the right. There's a lot to like about Dorgu's natural skill set and profile. But would he be as Premier League ready as someone like Kirkes? No. It'd also be around about half the price. Yeah, and Almac, I agree with that down there as well. Royal Rough Diamonds for £34 million. We signed Højlund for £72 million. This is what I mean. I don't truly understand the value of footballers anymore. I don't think there is a guideline you can follow. I'm not even just talking about United tax. The trend happened a few years ago, and it's properly continued. Football clubs now, when they sell players, they don't just sell that player for how good they are. They sell that player for how good he might be in a few years' time, and I want a slice of that pie. Like, maybe it's a stupid analogy or a stupid comparison, but it's the same concept as you selling your house to someone and saying, look, I know this is the market value of this house now, but I think this house is going to be worth more in 5 years' time. So in order for you to buy this house now, I'm going to charge you a premium. So just in case it does go up, I'll benefit from that too. It's proper, have your cake and eat it sort of thing. I find it strange that clubs are empowered enough to do it. Like, if you want that, then include like a sell-on clause, for example. Not charging more up front. 34 million? Is that going to be the price for Dorgu? I don't know. I've got no idea. You pay for potential now. You pay a premium for it. Antony for 85 million was just United getting their pants pulled down in a desperate situation, right? And this is the latest from The Athletic, adding into the whole Dorgu situation, all right? This is what they're reporting. United's move for Dorgu in... Look, you know full well that we need a left wing-back. Lecce sporting director there last month speaking about Patrick Dorgu, saying left or right winger, he runs like three players, can find the goal. He has an engine that no one else has. There's a lot of potential to this lad, right? And that's why United are going after him. I think 40 million is a massive overvaluation. I don't think that's specifically to do with the United tax. It's almost like, you know how everything has just become so more expensive in these last few years. Just like the cost of living. I can only speak for the UK. I don't know what it's like anywhere else, but just everything is like offensively expensive now. It's the same thing sort of happened in football transfers. Because, just 40 million for a lad who's in his second season in Lecce and has been involved in relegation scraps feels like a massive over-exaggeration. But it's just, as I said, it just kind of feels like that's what the market is. All right, you don't want him? Okay, fine, we'll keep him. Somebody else will pay it. No idea. No idea. But Dorgu is definitely the name atop United's wanted list. We haven't really conceivably been linked. Well, not conceivably, but reliably been linked with anybody else. So I think it's quite interesting to hear this from The Athletic, that United are said to be working on another possible deal. So who would that be? I've got absolutely no idea. Who would that be? Now, you can see, yesterday, Matheus Cunha, not a happy bunny at Wolves. And this comes only a couple of weeks after reports suggested that he was going to sign a new deal at Wolves. All is not good there in that situation. And if United had the money, then a player like Matheus Cunha really, really would fit that left inside forward role at Manchester United, like perfectly. Imagine that as a shift on that left-hand side. I suppose Bruno's kind of playing there right now, and Ahmad's playing on the right-hand side. But if you had Cunha there, I mean, Cunha could also play that centre-forward position and probably play it better than anybody we've got inside this squad. If we had the money, we'd be looking at him. Not just out of desperation, but just like, yeah, you would really, really tick a lot of the boxes. Cunha, if Garnacho goes, I suppose that's not an impossibility. And speaking about Garnacho, I think it's time that we have that conversation because it's definitely the biggest talking point for today. Alexander talking about the amount of goals that Garnacho's got per game surpasses Ronaldo at this age. After 115 games, he's got 23 goals and 13 assists. He's a future star. I think we're making a mistake. I don't think United are doing anything. Can we make this clear here, right? I can see headlines. I can see titles of other videos like Garnacho's gone. His exit is guaranteed. Auf Wiedersehen. I don't know why I'm German now. Like, calm your boots. Like, chill your boots. He's not gone anywhere. Stop over-exaggerating it to rile United fans up. This is part of the problem. It is all self-serving. You cannot get annoyed at tabloid newspapers and then do the exact same thing. Do you not understand the irony? Do you not understand, not irony, the hypocrisy of it? United are willing to sell Garnacho if the right price comes in. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how football has always worked. Forever. A club will sell a player if somebody comes in and offers enough money that makes them go, oh yeah, got him. And that's been the case with Manchester United with pretty much every player. Ever. Garnacho's part of that. But no one's offered anywhere near what will make United consider it. Now, and I would agree down there. The idea that this idea that United could, well, Antony's already gone to Real Betis. We know they've got the here we go already. But if Antony's gone and Garnacho leaves and we get rid of Rashford as well, then our attacking options for the rest of the season on paper right now are Højlund, Xerxes and Ahmad. We're already weak enough in attack. Anyway, this is what these are the reports you're seeing from everywhere on Garnacho. His agent was at Stamford Bridge last night. And I tell you what, his agent has been doing the groundwork. For sure. He is putting in the yards. He is travelling. He's gone and he's met Napoli. He's met Chelsea. He's doing everything he can to find out what the market is willing to offer for Garnacho. He's doing his job as an agent. If I had a football agent, I would expect my football agent to do the exact same thing. Now, United have clearly opened the door to this exit. We're not shouting from the rooftops that Alejandro Garnacho is for sale. But his agent putting in as much work as he is doing. I think it's obvious that United will sell Garnacho if the right price comes in. I don't think it will. Right? Fabrizio there saying the situation remains the same. Napoli keep pushing. And Antonio Conte had a direct call with Garnacho on Friday, just gone. Chelsea have made direct contact. So it's Chelsea and Napoli who are the two clubs who are interested in Garnacho. I need to, after this show, maybe later today, if I've got a hell of a day on, maybe later this evening, I'll try and properly update the whiteboard because quite a bit has happened since I last updated it. But I just haven't had time. And Gianluca Di Marzio is reporting that today there's going to be a meeting between Garnacho's representatives and Napoli, right? United are going to be meeting Lecce about Dorgu, and a meeting with Napoli is also scheduled for Alejandro Garnacho. So, you're seeing it also reported out in different Italian outlets that today there should be a meeting between Napoli and Garnacho's agents. We already know what the price is. Effectively, what United are saying is, right, so Napoli, you lads are looking for a replacement for Kvaratskhelia. How much did you get for him? 70 million euros? Right, okay, well, the price is 70 million euros. I don't think we're setting that price because that's how much they got for him, but I think that was always kind of the price. And you're talking about, I don't know about tapping up these days. How is it that, go back to that again, how is it that a manager of another football team can pick, lads, has anybody got Garnacho's phone number? Can you just ping it to me on WhatsApp? Yeah, one sec. Just has a phone call with Garnacho, and that's just how things happen these days. Amram can just pick up the phone. Gyökeres, how you doing, man? You had a good weekend? You fancy drink? You fancy it? Is that just how transfers work these days? I've got no idea. I really have no idea. Transfers have always been complicated. But in just the modern game, everything, it seems like anything goes. It really does feel like the wild, wild west with transfers. About agents using the media to swing things. And on a day-to-day basis and the social interactions and managers being able to pick up the phone and ring players directly and it not being tapping up and how much players are, I've got no idea. Mirko, you're saying, didn't Fergie just call players he wanted back in the day? I mean, the only example I can pick out off the top of my head is when we signed Cantona. He was on the phone to Leeds speaking about Dennis Irwin and just said, you fancy selling Cantona? And then that's how the conversation started. Sometimes club-to-club conversations happen first these days. But the majority of the time, it seems like it's a club who wants to buy a player will reach out to the agent first and said, if we approach the club, would you fancy it? And then a club is spoken to after. It almost feels like the agents are the first points of call rather than the clubs. But I'm just speculating here. It's just it's absolutely it feels like the Wild West now. Really feels like the Wild West. Alex is talking about, I don't think it's hypocrisy to highlight that we want to keep Garnacho while the club clearly has him up for sale. I didn't say that. What did I say about hypocrisy? I said it's hypocrisy to be angry at tabloid newspapers for how they represent and overstretch the truth and then do the exact same thing as different channels. Because I see it every single day. And I know it riles up fans. I know it increases the frustration. Because all of a sudden they think a transfer it's about to happen. And then 3 days later, well, I thought it was done. I thought his exit was guaranteed. And then all of a sudden the frustration builds and builds and builds, but it should never have been built because his exit isn't guaranteed. He's not on the verge of leaving because nobody's come in and offered anywhere near what would make United go, well, we'll consider that now. And until that happens, everything else is just agent work. I've already done my video on kind of what I think United should be doing with Garnacho in January. And I don't think he should be leaving. I really don't think our club and our squad is in a position where Garnacho should be leaving. I think he deserves the rest of the season to prove whether or not he, A, wants to. And this is kind of a big thing, right? This is kind of a big thing. What does Garnacho want to do? If Garnacho looks at this squad, this team right now, this manager, and he goes, this is not the Manchester United that I was in a year ago. Things have changed. Not really sure because Garnacho is going to have to develop his game. He's going to have to play differently. And he might not want to do that. So if Garnacho doesn't want to be a United player, does that change your opinion of whether you think the club should be moving him on. I think it would. But right now, I don't think United should be moving Garnacho on. I think if we're looking at January now, Rashford has always been that. We'll speak about Rashford next. And Antony's already gone. Then it's just kind of a bit loopy that you think you could get rid of Garnacho, Antony, and Rashford in the same window without any replacements and think that they're going to be sweet for the rest of the season. But yeah, until Napoli come in with a genuine offer, now they can scoff at it if they want. Oh, Garnacho's not worth 70 million euros. But I'm sorry, lads. If you're going to put a 40 million, if Lecce are going to put a 40 million, you've got precedent now, right now, of what's going on in the market. 40 million price on Dorgu in his second season in a relegation-threatened Lecce team in Serie A. Then you're damn right that we're going to be putting a £70 million price on Garnacho, who has over 100 appearances for Manchester United, has already won the FA Cup, has already won the League Cup, is already a senior Argentinian international and has won the Copa America. You are damn right that that price is going to be 70 million. And I'll tell you what, it's 70 million plus a sell-on clause. You want him? There you go. If you don't want him, stop wasting my time. Move on. You need to sign someone else if you're going to replace Kvaratskhelia. But stop trying to lowball us. Shoo. Vamos. Of course, you can't really deal with negotiations like that, but it kind of feels like it should. Let me see what you're saying in the comments. I'm seriously done if we sell Garnacho for less than 90 million. I don't think you're going to be getting 90 million for him. Jonathan saying, if Garnacho is leaving 6 months on from having a very good season and being highlighted as a great talent, then something is seriously wrong. Yeah, it was only... Oh, I'm taking the photo down. It was only last year. He got the assist, well, the pre-assist, if you want to call it that, the pass to Bruno for Mainu's goal in the FA Cup final. That photo with Højlund and Ahmad and Garnacho and Mainu, it felt like you were looking into the future with United. And then, wow, how things change. And I know things change at football clubs, but just Manchester United is just, it's like an imploding nuclear bomb. Nikos saying, without any replacements, what bollocks? Okay, what replacements have you heard being linked with United? With Rashford, Antony, and Garnacho all potentially leaving. Could you bring through one player from the academy? I think you could. I think the way that the under-18s and the under-18s, of course, have nailed it. Bianchetti, unfortunately for him, has just had shoulder surgery, so I don't really know how injured he is. James Scanlon could come through. Chido Obi-Martin, of course, is a centre forward. Shea Lacey's been injured. Ibrahimov's more of an inside forward, but if you're going to have physical concerns about certain players, you're going to be having it about him at this age in time. Why wouldn't there be any replacements if they leave? I'm just someone tell me in the comments who we've been linked with reliably. I mean, you can pull names out of a magic hat if you want, but the only name we've been properly linked with and the only player that we've actually had talks with so far in January is Patrick Dorgu. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible that we can't. Oh, look, there you go. It's on screen right now. Youth, courage, success. That photo felt iconic at the time. 6 months later, we're talking about one of those players leaving. Højlund's not kicked on. Ahmad has massively developed. I think Mainu's getting a bit of a harsh treatment from some United fans, if I'm being completely honest. I think he's playing better than some players are saying. Of course, he was poor against Brighton, but so was everybody else, right? Sam, did everybody saying down here? Anyone else bored of transfer windows? Well, part and parcel of it. Just do our negotiations, Sam. It's that easy. It's easy. Come on. 50 mil for Garnacho is a joke. 35 for Dorgu. Alvarez a 16 million buyback. If we wanted Fernandes, we would have got Fernandes. I think we can all agree on that now, can't we? United clearly just don't want Alvaro Fernandes. Don't know why that banner's not updating. Hey, look. There are look, Dorgeles. Yeah, we that's fair enough. We got linked with Dorgeles. That's the Salzburg winger. Garnacho. It's definitely one to watch. There's too much smoke without fire, and I said that a while ago, and well, it's only kind of got louder since. I really don't see Napoli offering what we want. Chelsea, a little quick conversation there about Chelsea is they probably would offer what we want because of Chelsea. They're just a bit nuts in transfer windows. They've always got money. Doesn't matter how many players they sign, they've always got the money. But Chelsea can get absolutely no chance. Doesn't matter how much money Chelsea offer, there is no chance I would let Garnacho go anywhere near Chelsea or anywhere near a Premier League rival. I feel pretty strongly about that. You could say that we did the same thing with Sancho. And I'll say, really, if you really want to try and compare those two situations, then yeah, but you're on one. And I'll be honest, I'm pretty concerned about that as well. I can easily see Ineos selling any player to any club that is willing to offer the right amount of money. I don't think Ineos would look at this and go, well, there's no way that we can sell Garnacho to Chelsea. That's not possible. They'll sell him to anyone who's willing to pay the right amount of money. So I hope that one doesn't happen. But again, we're just going to have to follow and find out. Jordan, you're saying PSG's Nuno Mendes. That we got linked with Nuno Mendes, but it was never anything but speculation because of how much he costs. Bournemouth, Milos Kerkez. I'm going to put that in the exact same category. Ryan Ait-Nouri from Wolves. Again, a premium that you get for him. And Tyron Mitchell from Crystal Palace. Is he a free agent this summer? Because we were linked with him in the summer as well. But all those names, we were linked with more in the summer than we have been in January. Right? Now, the one thing I think that has been top of United's list all January is finding a solution to the Rashford situation. We don't have one right now. Now, I think partly that is down to Rashford's desire to join Barcelona. This is the latest from David Ornstein on the Rashford situation, right? Said, should Rashford go, it's thought that he would favour a move to Barcelona. Although the move's complicated, Barca can afford to sign him now, but they need to shift players out before they bring anyone in. I think Rashford's just sitting there. You know what I've only realised yesterday is the January transfer window doesn't close on the 31st of January. It closes on the 3rd of Feb. So it closes in 13 days' time. Right. Sorry, Rex, if I missed a super chat down there. It's not on purpose. It really is not on purpose. Oh, damn it. I can't even go. It won't let me go back. For some reason, it's not logged. It's got me in subscribers only mode, so I can't actually see what it is. So let me see if I can go back on here. The chat is crazy today, man. Sorry. Can I go back up far enough? Nope, doesn't let me. Really sorry, dude. It's not my fault with that. It is my fault that I missed it, but it's not my fault I can't go back. But Barcelona. United want a solution. You know what it kind of feels like with this Rashford stuff? It feels like he and his representatives have been leading the way in trying to find him a club. Rather than United going, we need to find a club for our player, so we're going to go out and do all the legwork. It feels like United are just kind of letting Rashford and his representatives go out and do the legwork. Which is kind of a little bit strange. But he's been linked with Barca. He's been linked with Monaco. Now this morning, randomly linked with Marseille, linked with Borussia Dortmund, linked with, I don't know, maybe someone else I forgot about. But Barca, I don't think it's ever going to happen, right? I do not think it's ever going to happen. Right, thank you very much. Looks like I've got the... Here's a super chat. Thank you very much, Alex. Rex, you saying, it feels like an age ago when we saw Højlund, Garnacho and Manu sitting on the advertising hoardings. Yeah, I've just mentioned that. And for some reason, it's locked on that one. I didn't lock it on that one. But that's exactly what it is. It does feel like an age ago. Just this football club. But Kyle Walker looks like it's AC Milan. That's the other club I completely forgot about. Like, AC Milan wanted him. AC Milan's a great club. But it feels like Rashford wants the absolute peak, the absolute best. The three biggest clubs in world football are Manchester United, right, not in order, but Manchester United, Real Madrid and Barcelona. And he wants Barcelona. Milan were more than reportedly in for Rashford. They were kind of deep in the conversations. It feels like it feels like Rashford or Rashford's representatives feel that he is too good for a lot of these clubs, that he deserves the absolute best and that he wants to go Barcelona. That's his dream. If he's going to have to leave United, if he's leaving United, I want it to be Barcelona. I'm willing to wait until the very end of the transfer window to see if Barcelona can figure out a way to sign me. And by doing that, it puts United in a precarious position because we're so close to PSR rules that I think a lot of our flexibility in this January transfer window is relying on whether or not we can get half of his wages off the books. And then you're seeing stories that are coming out yesterday from the BBC, from the Telegraph. Rashford's not giving up on playing for United again. Rashford's taking on extra training after Ruben Amorim claims he's not best for the team. He's not given up on the fact that he could, if he needs to, stay at United. And you know what I feel with that? I feel like that's a little bit of an awareness from Rashford's camp that, oh man, there's actually not many, there might not be any clubs that are willing to pay your wages. So make sure that bridge isn't burned at United in case a move doesn't happen. And I think I've said this before, and we've seen it at United. As somebody who, two players who will stand out in this regard, I think, are Jesse Lingard and Ravel Morrison, of players that don't have the best representatives around him. And like, this is why a lot of the time it's like, don't mix business and family. Rashford's brother being his agent, nah, man. I've heard a lot of things. So there's no point in speculating on camera, but a lot of things from a lot of different people about how there's different self-serving interests with that. And I think that's a big part of it. Like, Sean, I don't know why you'd say anything dumb as hell like that. Just let Rashford rot. Like fuck that, man. You don't have to speak about any footballer like that. Let alone Marcus Rashford, who you should have more of a connection to as a United fan than your average footballer. This, to me, just screams that there's a realisation, a growing realisation, that no one's going to pay the 325 grand north a week wages, man. That was always the case. And worst case scenario here is that Rashford stays at Manchester United past January. I can't imagine how toxic that environment would be. I mean, it was toxic before the interview happened with Henry Winter after he was dropped for the City game. But could you imagine the toxicity levels that would exist after? When all United fans know that Rashford has said, yeah, I'm kind of ready for a new challenge. He's tried to find a new challenge. He's tried to find it with Barca, with AC, with Monaco, with all these clubs, and none of them have been able to agree a deal. There's a common denominator in that. And then you come back to United, and then you're going to have to play incredibly to try and shift any perception with the fan relationship. And it would reach that, and it did reach this point, by the way, before he was dropped against City. And I felt sorry for Rashford in this sense with this. It felt like whenever Rashford put in a good performance, everybody was like, well, that's what you should do every single week. And then when he put in a bad performance, then you get absolutely slated for it. It was kind of like, even when you won, you lost. And you're saying it undermines Amorim if Rashford played that. The whole thing fucking stinks. Just this whole football club, man. At what point will United actually start acting and operating like a fucking top-tier football club again? It's exhausting. There's no other way to describe it. Is there stuff that Amorim could do in the short term that would maybe improve our performances? I'm sure there are tweaks. I already spoke about them yesterday in my video. The Ugarte-Mainu pivot, I don't think that's working when United when United are creating so much space. It's leaving those two having to cover too much ground, which I think then exposes their weakness. And it would probably expose most weaknesses of most midfields when you're covering that much ground. And then there's just problems everywhere I look. Left with the squad, right with the football, above with Ineos and what they're doing, with the fan relationships, with the season ticket holders. We're just north of a year since Ineos took over 27%, and I think we've gone from 7th to 13th in the league. And you've got the manager calling the team maybe the worst ever in United's history, which I repeat, and I wasn't exaggerating with the headline that I used on my video yesterday. I think that moment will become definitive for Amorim, one way or the other. I think it will be quite a definitive moment. He's literally sat there with full awareness of what he's about to say. Maybe we've got the worst team in United's history. There's your headline. That's what he said. That is not a manager that is comfortable with the environment that he is in. That is a manager who is really trying to, well, I've done everything I can behind the scenes now. That's not worked. This hasn't worked. That's not worked. That's not worked. That's not worked. This hasn't worked. Well, you know what? Fuck it. I've got to go to the other direction here. I've got to go somewhere that I haven't really gone before as a manager, because that's not who he was at Sporting. Amorim's having to change and find out different ways to manage, because everything that he's tried so far, he's not getting what he needs from these players. And to think that Rashford, after saying that he wants a new challenge, then tries to find a move away, potentially doesn't find it, and then stays back at the club. Akash is saying, should we be concerned how the dressing room reacts? Yes and no. Like, I really do not think that a lot of these players have such a sense of pride that they're going to be offended by it. A lot of footballers, and I think this is kind of part and parcel of how you need to be as a modern day footballer, is you have to be able to lock out what everybody else is saying. And that's how you have to operate. So a lot of them will be able to lock out what Amorim is saying. Going down here, Glenn saying, we are being the worst, not are the worst. All media and fan channels have taken what Amorim has said out of context for clicks and views. Dan, precisely what he said is we are maybe being the worst United team in the club's history. There's your headline. That's what he said. And the maybe was the important part. But Amorim knows the impact that will have in the press. Very, very aware of it. But he's just doing that as a almost like a Batman sign in the sky. He goes like, fuck's sake, lads. Look what you did against Liverpool. Look what you did against Arsenal. Look how good you can be. And then look how crap you are. What is it? Please let me in. I'm here to help you. I'm here to help coach you. I'm here to take bullets for you. I'm here to protect you. But if you don't protect me as a manager, and 4 minutes into a game, you can see from something that we worked on the training ground all week, then you're not helping me. It goes two ways. Respect is always a two-way street. And Amram's trying something else, but I can understand, right? I can understand why all United managers go grey and it looks like they age a ridiculous amount. Because if you don't care about United and you report on United, then you can just enjoy yourself. But if you genuinely give a shit about this football club, and I do, I love United. It's a massively important part of my life. Not just because of work, I just love United. Made plenty of friends going to United games, home and away. Don't get to go as much anymore because I'm so busy working. But if you care about United, then everything that's happening right now, it gets to you. It really gets to you. Like at some point, the direction has to change. Surely. Yechi is saying, if you remember last time I asked you when can we expect us to win, and I guess we still can't. No, you can't. You can't expect United to do anything. You can hope every week. I'm going into the Rangers game. I'm going to be doing my starting 11 video later today. I'm hoping that we're going to see a reaction, but I can't expect it. No one can expect United to do anything. But long and short of it, for today's video is a summary. United are in talks with Lecce for Patrick Dorgu. You're hearing pressure being put on United from a Napoli perspective, saying, ooh, we might come in and sign him. We'll see what happens. Garnacho, his agent was at Chelsea. Napoli want him. I don't think Napoli are going to pay what they need to, so I don't think he's ever going there in January. And Chelsea, well, I can't rule out that they would offer the amount of money for him, but that would piss me off. I think there's more chance of that happening than there is of Napoli paying the money. And then Rashford, it kind of feels like Rashford's sitting there waiting to see if Barca can figure out a way to sign him. And by doing so, will delay any decision on his future. And that leaves United in a bit of a tricky position. Now, I'm going to wrap this up for today because I've got a heck of a lot on. I'm going to be getting the Rangers video out at lunchtime. I'll be here tomorrow morning, live and direct. Hopefully, I would have updated the whiteboards, and hopefully the technical issues here that I had today, I won't have. But thank you all for tuning in. Please do drop a like on the video if you can. Whoa. Man, United is a whirlwind. Really, really is.